click to subscribe if you want more videos like this. Probably going to be a long one here. What I'm going through is a software spec that somebody gave me for a company I know nothing about, and they need some work done. I'm like, okay, I know nothing about this. I asked ChatGPT, TLDR this thing, tell me what it's about. Did a little bit of my own research to understand what these words are, and then I got into, after I asked it some questions about, what does all these terms mean? I got into, what's the most difficult pieces of software to write to get this software up and running. And then I said, hey, can you prototype me something? It gave me a zip. I followed some instructions here. I got it to show up. It's not that great. It's kind of broken. It's using some technology that I'm not as familiar with. So I told it, hey, let's switch the technologies. And then I had it switch the technologies. I ran some steps here, and then I got an error. So I put that error into the into ChatGPT and said, "Hey, can you fix this? What's going on here?" And it gave me a new set of files to go ahead and start. And I said, "Okay, great. I'm going to follow those instructions." And here we are. And now I got this site, and it looks kind of jank, right? There's all this stuff going on. It's like it looks terrible, terrible. Um, and I'm gonna go through this raw live because I think this is important. What upsets me the most about vibe coding and promoting all these tools is that a lot of people think that you're just going to use magic essentially to create a product that's going to be usable, sellable right off the bat. And you can already see with a somewhat defined scope of work for this technology platform that they want, for some, already kind of defined set of criteria, it, it's already fumbled. Lesson number one: you can't feed an AI system an entire spec and tell it to build it. You can, but it's best to know what you want up front and then piece in the details, like tell it what technology you want, and then tell it what you want the login page to look like, and then go screen by screen and tell it what you want your screens to look like. It's better to iterate over your development than do what I did and throw it all together at once, right? It's fine. It's not a big deal. You can do it that way. And for the sake of this demo, I am just going to do it that way. I'm going to see kind of what happens if I just run at this without really giving AI incremental steps. I'm just throwing everything at it. Okay, so all that said, I'm at this point now where I'm in some massive display issues. So I'm going to back up. I'm going to go to the folder that I was working out of, which is here. So I'm going to open this in the terminal, and then I am going to rerun that command, which is Python run server. All that says is, hey, local system, post this command and start showing this app that you made me at this location. 127.0.0.1 8000. That's your local host. It's basically saying nobody else can see this thing but this computer, my own computer, right? I don't even know where the darn login button is on this log out button. Like, it's so jank. Anyway, there's a lot going on here, right? There's no Kendo UI license. Interestingly enough, I thought that I could tell it. Let me show you. I said, hey, here's my Kendo UI license. When I was switching the technology, I was like, hey, go to Django instead of Flask, and then use JavaScript on the front end, and use this Kendo UI license. Well, it didn't use that Kendo UI license. So this is where you kind of need to have some development knowledge. You go into this folder that it created for you, and you're like, what in the heck is going on? Well, one thing to note, DBSQ3, SQLite 3, that's a database, but it's local, which means if you go to deploy this app, which obviously your commercial customer is expecting to be online, it ain't gonna work. You're gonna be dead in the water. So you can't just take ChatGPT and have it create software that's like commercializable right off the bat. You definitely have to iterate. So I don't even know what's going on in this app yet. I have no clue. Haven't even looked at the code other than the like other than just clicking run to kind of set up all the framework to get this thing running in your virtual environment. A virtual environment in Python, VEnv is what you'll hear it called as an acronym. It basically says, hey, this folder, this virtual environment folder, has all of the roads and gas stations and infrastructure to support the car that you're going to drive on. It sets up all the infrastructure needed for you to run your car because you're gonna plop your car down in the middle of nowhere and you need all that infrastructure to drive your car. Well, virtual environment is all your infrastructure and your car is your application. So Uplift site. Now this is me just I'm going to go through this and kind of talk out loud and explain what it is that I'm seeing and what it is I'm mentally processing through to start to turn this application into something that is usable and that can actually bring somebody an ROI. Okay, so Uplift site. All right, so this is probably the main folder that kind of operates all the settings and the site kind of like launches under core. All right, core is probably where all of your, okay, so core is mainly where like your core logic is. So your models are there. So your stuff that, stores data. And then it looks like some views. Okay, so this is the back end logic that supports what we were just seeing a moment ago here. Like when I don't know, maybe click delete or something, that's the logic that probably runs when I delete. Okay. Static. So the static is probably when you create when you do a Python create static or whatever, it's probably putting it there, which means that template. Okay, so this is all my front-facing code. But where is manage requirements? Requirements is the file that tells you what Python modules you're using. Manage up high, run.sh, that's the setup scripts. Uplift site, where is settings, URLs? URLs is a thing that kind of like tells you what URLs your user can interact with. So here's all the API calls that it created. Here's the health checks. I could probably do something like /health. See, okay, true service. Okay, so this is my health check, so I could choose to print it, and that's great. Okay, so there's the health check, there's the logout. Okay, so if I want to go back to the logout page, if I don't even know where the logout button is, I can just do this, log out. Okay, so now it's going to take me back to the login page, and this kind of looks okay. I mean, it's a pretty bland, but meh. I mean, at least it's kind of there. Um, Once you enter the site, it's like, bleh, this is so terrible. What I'm really looking for though is okay, so let's stop looking and let's just go to star.js. It's going to search all my folders for JS files because what I want to find is the Kendo. Okay, so here's the Kendo UI license, open file location. It put it in static. I wonder if, All right, so I wonder if this operates out of static. That'd be kind of bad. Let's go to templates. Let's go to base. Okay, so it probably is. No, there's the JS right there. It's the relative JS folder, Kendo UI license JS. Okay, so I did ask it why I'm seeing this weird CSS stuff, and it's probably because this CSS is bad. Yeah, see, that CSS is bad, so it gave me a bad CSS. That's why all this is garbage. Okay, so what am I doing then? I'm assuming the jQuery is fine. Okay, so that's a real file. It's public location. Oh, you can't really see that on what I'm sharing, but my URL points to a valid public location for the jQuery. All right, so how do I get, it looks like static JS. All right, so I mean it's normally when you create a Python site, like obviously it's here, but normally it's somewhere else first because you do a collect static. But I bet that that's not the case. Okay, so why is this an invalid license? It it surely is. The license key. That's very strange. Okay, let me go to a project that I know works. And let me go to the mobile site and then UI, no, WebCore. I don't even know where it's at. I'll find it. Third party, that's nope, nope, nope. Yeah, it is UI. All right, so it's UI static, and then there's a Kendo. So why don't we, oh, here's the styles. Let me just take this whole Kendo folder. The Kendo UI is a library that's, you have to purchase it, but it's kind of all these graphical tools for you to use. So JS, I'm going to pop the Kendo in there, and I'm going to delete this. And then I want, instead of my style sheet, let's do this. Instead of my style sheet pointing to the public location, right? This like HTTP stuff, let's do, um, see, okay, so this is where I don't quite know. Let me go, let me do this. ChatGPT, go into here. Okay, so let's convert this to a local static Django reference. Now it'll tell me, it'll probably give me like a different syntax. It'll probably use that like static nomenclature here that basically just tells the system that you're pointing to some static location. Yeah, here we go. That's probably what I want. Make sure you have load static. It's got to have load static somewhere. There's load static. Yeah. All right. If you add common CSS2, recommend. Okay. So let's do this. Link rel. Right. Okay. So we're gonna do this, and then pop in the style sheet. And now it's going to tell me that it's some random location, right? We don't want that location. We want probably Kendo /. So we're starting at, because we're in the static directory, right? The static directory. I wonder if I should pull out. Yeah, I'm going to pull out. I'm not going to do JS. I'm going to pull out, and I'm just going to say Kendo, and then it's going to be styles, and then it's going to be Fluent main CSS. Now let's do dark. Let's do dark. So it'll be Kendo styles / Fluent dark. Okay, now when I save that, I should be able to refresh, and then at least the site is not going to be as jank. Okay, it's better, a whole lot better. Holy cow, I can see stuff now. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Okay, so I got some grids. I can at least see what's going on now. Great, cool. It kind of looks like a neat little, oh, there's a logout button. kind Kind of looks like a neat little app, I guess, but I got to get rid of these like invalid license. This is just garbage. So it's going to say Kendo, and I believe it'll just be Kendo UI license, right? Because I had this Kendo folder, and then I have the Kendo UI license. Great. Okay, so now I should have that removed, and it's not. Control F5, and it's not. Okay, why? It's probably because I'm using this version of Kendo, and this version of Kendo is probably not jiving with my license. So what I need to do is point to this Kendo, which is, how do I do that? I think let's do the same thing just because I don't want to mess things up. I think it'll be something like, well, you know what? It's probably this. Let's just copy this. See what happens. All right, so paste. Get rid of the previous one. Okay, so now we're Kendo, and then we want to point to the Kendo UI all whatever, this thing right here. This is basically the Kendo guts. It's like the engine that like runs Kendo. All right. So now we're telling it use my local version instead of like going out to the web. I think we're going to have these removed now, and it's not. That kills me. Okay. Kendo UI for jQuery. That sucks. Okay, so let's go back to my Realtek app. Let's also grab JS, static materialize, Kendo. Oh, this sucks. Okay, web core, static, JS, third party. Here we go. jQuery.min. Let's grab that really quick. And let's put it under the JS folder. So static, it's going back under the JS folder. This is the jQuery library that basically just runs all of jQuery. And instead of putting it in this like public location, right? We're gonna do the same thing we did here. It's gonna be in the JS folder, and it's gonna be jQuery. Yep, jQuery 3.7. Whoop, I clicked it. I didn't mean to click it. I just meant to cut and paste. Where was I? Right here. So now we're pointing to a local version of jQuery, a local version of Kendo. I still don't think that'll fix it because that shouldn't be related at all, but at least it'll give us a local version. I don't know why this is not invalid license. That's so strange. That's so strange. I did grab the license. Let's see what happens if I just remove it. I mean, I would imagine it's going to be the same thing. So it's like it's not there. Okay, so let's see if Kendo, right? Static, Kendo, UI license, JS, Kendo, UI license.js. Okay, so must be loaded before the Kendo scripts, which it is. Let's keep that comment there. Let's ask ChatGPT. All right, so why would my license be invalid if this same code exists on another site that Kendo license doesn't show up as invalid? And just paste my code. Control C for copy, Control V for paste. You'll notice too, at the very bottom, I have extended thinking on. It takes longer to get your answers, but I would rather have one good answer than, and take longer than have to like shove through like 5 different prompts and answers to get the right answer. So I don't know why. I mean, if you ever needed to check, Here's a neat little trick. So I can download a tool called Beyond Compare, select the left file, which is the one that I'm using. Let's actually do this instead. Let's go to Fortitude Mobile and then go to UI, static, Kendo. I can left click the license and compare, uh, left click or right click, and I can say select left file. That's just saying compare this file, this license file that I copied, right? That's working. I know the site works with the license to this other file, compare to Kendo UI license, and they should be the same. This Beyond Compare tool, should say, oh, I have my trial license is gone. Anyway, the Beyond Compare tool will tell you that it's, binary the same. It's like the same file. It'll do a check to make sure it's the same file. So it's pretty straightforward. I need to re-up my trial on Beyond Compare or put in a license. I have the license for it. I just haven't done it yet. All right. So, all right. So the key changed. License script is actually being loaded, executed in the page in that way. The license file is the wrong. No, it's not. Check it fast. Oh, I can see if the script loaded by doing onload on error. That's kind of neat. Let's do that just for fun. That's actually a good thing to have. So if you're ever debugging why, a particular file isn't working, I can just copy and paste that code in here. And now when I refresh my site, hit F5, I can hit F12. That'll open up the dev console. And then it'll say, where is the interesting Kendo licensing is not defined. That's strange. Okay, so let's plug that error into ChatGPT. See, I originally thought that we were loading a different version. I'm going to copy and paste that error. Kendo licensing is not defined. Your license file isn't actually being served at that path. No, it is. It is, because there's no 404. I'm pretty sure anyway. We would probably get a 404 if the license file wasn't served. But this is where it becomes critical that, like, you have to know how to debug. You have to know how to, like, deal with these weird issues. So here's what's funny. I see the issue now based on what it said. And the comment. So ChatGPT gave me this code, right? They gave me this original code. Now, I've been changing the locations, but they gave me the code. Here's what's interesting. Kendo UI license must be loaded before Kendo scripts. That's a wrong comment. So watch this. I bet if we put it after Kendo all, it'll work now. See, this is where ChatGPT, and I'm gonna hit F5. Now it's fine. So this is where ChatGPT gave me code, and this is why I wanted to do this live, because people, you can't, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people go into ChatGPT and they think it's going to generate them perfect code, and it just doesn't. It does not generate you perfect code. It won't. Okay, it just won't. All right, so here we are. I've corrected and I'm removing. Actually, what I can do if I really want to is leave the comment and then say must be loaded after, right? After, and then cut and paste that code here so that the comment's still valid. Control X is how you cut, and then Control V is how you paste. Just makes development a little quicker. So if I hit F5, I still get my site. And then just to prove it, I can kill the license, save the file, hit F5, and now it's broken again. So anyway, all right, cool. So this is where I kind of want to get with the I kind of want to get with the CEO of this company to kind of understand his real requirements, right? Like he gave me this requirements document. I have a shell. That's all I have right now. I have a shell that I really don't even understand. I'm sure I can dig into the code itself, right? I could go into here, open into Explorer, and then go to that models directory, right? And then I can, where is it? Core models. This is like, okay, so this is the file that says these are all the data structures that this application is going to talk to. So there's a venue, there's an event, there's integration, there's a support ticket, there's an audit entry model. These are all like pieces of data that get entered. And then when you interact with the software, what's going to happen is it's going to save data to this local database. It's fine for now. It's local development. It doesn't matter. Um, I don't know, based on these requirements, I don't know these requirements very much. I just told the guy, hey, send me what you got, and and we could talk about it later, just so I could kind of understand it. But I kind of wanted to get a one up on the guy and like actually build something that I could show him. And I could say, hey, look, I put this prototype together. It doesn't really do anything, but it's a skeleton of what you might want, right? And this is a really good stopping point actually, because in software development, you don't want to do too much to where you're getting ahead of your customer, and you don't want to do too little to where they don't think like to where you're not like doing anything, right? Iterative development says, hey, let's build out this one little feature and let's show our user, show our customer and see what they think. And then we'll build another feature and then another feature. This at least gives them, I spent 2 hours on this, like all together, probably an hour and a half even. And I have something that at least I can log in and out of and like see different like, you know, aspects of the code that like jive with their requirements, right? They talk about having integration with like Ticketmaster and different venues like that. Well, that's what integrations is, right? I could sync and I could, do, I don't know, all this stuff, right? I mean, this is all fake data, not talking to a real system, but this gives the customer like, hey, okay, if we put this integrations tab here, it could tell you, are we currently actually talking with Ticketmaster or SeatGeek? Are we talking to these things, right? And then it would show unhealthy if we're not, right? So like when maybe we ping every hour, for the system status, and we show that here, right? And then if a user ever questions the status or wants a manual check, they could just click sync, right? They could just sync it. So that's kind of cool. Analytics, I don't know, what this might be, perhaps, but this is probably some type of, demand for different venues, and this would give the customer maybe a data points as to where, what they might need to do for a future event for ADA seating, Americans with Disabilities Act seating, based on prior actuals, right? So you might have even a chart here for like, a combined chart that kind of shows Ticketmaster data, AXS data, SeatGeek data, whatever, right? Um, Seat restoration, I have no idea what this is. This is probably maybe looking at past data. I don't know. This is obviously forecasting. So if you have like a summer tour and you're trying to like forecast the amount of seats of ADA seats, Americans with Disabilities Act seating that you might need. Here's the forecast, right? The low is 607, the high is 614, and so that might be like the overall seating, and then there's probably some like mathematical model that says, well, 5% of seating needs to be for ADA seating, right? So you take that number, you multiply by 5%, and you get your forecast for your Americans with Disabilities Act seating requirement for that particular venue, an event. Here's a new, here's an event. I don't know, like, what this could be used for yet. Technically, this starts at should be like a drop down, because I bet I could like break the system if I just did that and clicked save. Like it just like blew up on me. I don't even know what happened, right? So like name is required. Like it just like totally died. I'm gonna go back to events. Oh, weird. Okay, I'm gonna hit F5. Go back to events, and now it's there. I don't know. So maybe if I go to like sports and I go to SPO and click save, see, like, here we go. ChatGPT totally gave me non-working code. Like I can't even save this row without it blowing up. Perhaps genre should be like a drop down. Start that should be, a date picker thing. A venue should be, I don't know. And obviously event name is just, whatever you want it to be, right? So venues, we could probably, this might work. Maybe they, capacity is 56 and this might work, save. Okay, so that actually saved. And then if I go into events and add a new event, I probably can pick a new venue. See, it doesn't even link the venues, right? I just created a new venue and it doesn't link it yet. I might have to hit F5 and now I go to events. Now I click add and there's my venue, right? So there's a bug to look for, right? It's gonna make you click F5. It's gonna make you refresh the page before it syncs with what you've just added. That's not good. That's not a good user experience. So you want to be able to tease those things out as you develop, right? Like ChatGPT didn't know enough to do that, but it gave me a pretty slick interface. It gave me something that doesn't reload every time I click, right? It's called a SPA, single page application. So that's kind of cool. It gave me working code, but I told it to give me fake data. Like I genuinely told it, hey, generate fake data for now because I want something to show people. You don't want all this to be blank. So this starts the talking point. I have no idea what the search function does. I wouldn't even begin to know. Perhaps I can just remove it and it's not a big deal. That's a loader bar for Kendo UI. It's just thinking. Um, anyway, I'm just gonna click cancel. It's probably something to remove. You're probably not gonna search. There's probably, if I'm an admin, I bet if I asked it to do like role-based authentication, so demo users, this is admin, it's the same password, so I wonder if there's like a read-only location here. There's a read-only login, I mean, so I'm gonna just log in using the read-only login and see if it gives me that admin page. Ah, see, I can't even access the admin page. That's kind of cool. So it already builds some of that logic in, but if you have crafty users, they might be able to go in here and like know how to like click your item. So like if I go into here and I'm totally trying to break the software now, but if I do document dot get elements by ID, right? Get element by ID, pass in the ID. It's going to find the element there. Let me expand this just a little bit. It's going to find the element there. Now I bet if I click, it might even allow me to get into it, which would be bad. Click. Ah, no, it didn't. That's good. Um, that's good. Selectable is false. Disabled is true. So watch this. Um, People who know how to do this can know how to break your site. And if you don't know enough to prevent the user from doing this, you could get yourself into some trouble because you could think you're doing something and in fact you're not preventing, people from accessing data that they shouldn't be accessing, right? Area selectable is true. I'm just trying to break it. Yeah, here, K disabled. There we go. That's what I want. I'm going to remove that class. That's going to make it selectable. See now how it highlighted? If I click it, I could see the admin now. So I can actually see the admin page as that read-only user, right? So it's like you don't want to do that, right? Like you don't want to. I totally broke the code, and so you want to have prevention around that, right? And so this is where it does take consultation with an engineer or at least some smarts around, you know, how to actually develop software to prevent these scenarios from coming up. Now, I could always say, hey, ChatGPT, I'm able to still, modify the class of the admin button to make it clickable so that as a read-only user, I can click it. Please fix this. And it will. It will. But right now I haven't even begun to show you like where in the development process you need to start like injecting version control, because right now it'll just like either tell me to modify specific portions of code like it did already, or you can tell it to regenerate the whole thing and give you a new zip file, and that is super cumbersome. You do not want to go that route. So if this video is helpful, I can expand on this because this is a project I'm going to be working on at least to prototype something for this company in Nashville. But if this is something you want to see, I can expand on it and actually go deeper as I progress with this company and as I learn more about their requirements to start fleshing out some of what the system would actually look like. If you want to subscribe, if this was helpful and you want to see more videos that attempt to turn AI into ROI, click subscribe. Let me know what you want to see, what would be helpful, what would give you ROI in your business, and I can make that the next video. Thanks for watching.